As we have down here, our big man, Dark. And our guy up here in the top corner, he is Ragnarok. And just like we said, this guy doesn't want to go the distance versus Dark. We've got the standard 12 pool. So now Dark really has to get a vision of this, and it's really going to come down to how hard is Ragnarok going to commit. It looks like he is going to add on that extractor, so it's not going to be... So he's not going to just rely on slow lings to do his dirty work. Instead, just going to get up that gas, but he is investing very, very hard into these lings. Dark now gets his first glance of it. His spawning pool is just now starting up. Already, it looks like Dark, he's going to kind of let this base go a little bit, probably not noticing the fact that Ragnarok does have his own natural, but there we go. The drone's now pulled, and it's ring around the rosy, pocket full of death spikes, as the drone's trying to get a pretty good surround on these lings, just so he can save this base. Unfortunately, the lings do get surrounded, so they all do get picked off. So a little bit of a sloppy engagement there from Ragnarok, but he is not done by any stretch of the imagination. He has tasted blood and building, and he wants to go back for more. As 12 more lings on the way, and they will have a much faster speed, as Dark still doesn't have the gas income. He pulled off all his workers, and they're all on gas. They were all on gas. So now Dark, he has to defend. He knows he has to defend. He already did send the lings across the map, but they have to come back home and instantly drop in that spine crawler. You know, I don't think he's really in a bad spot here. He just needs to hold out for his own speed. And it looks like Ragnarok's just going to dive right on top of that natural hatch. Probably should back off after that, because he did invest literally everything he had into it. So now Dark is going to be ahead in terms of that army count. Just getting a little bit of scouting information as 8 more lings on the way. I gotta say, I'm a little bit worried for Ragnarok here. He did manage to snipe the hatch, which is great. And he does have... Actually, he doesn't have any additional drones. He is behind in the worker count. So, he's really not taking advantage of the fact that he is up 1 base. The Baneling Nest going to be coming in soon as well, so Dark, kind of recognizing that he can't really attack in just yet, will go home and just try and hold on versus the tiring wave of red. Oh, the Banelings do get caught, though. That is pretty bad. Ragnarok was really going to bank in on those. But now they're going to be a bit delayed. In fact, having to make them in an inopportune spot. But here we go. Real engagement starts now, as both sides will have the Banelings finishing up relatively soon. And yeah, it's pretty much like whack-a-mole at this point. already getting an okay connection right there. But the Ragnarok unfortunately allowing quite a few connections on only 1 or 2 lings. So now as Ragnarok trying to go up to a layer of his own, Dark is going to be putting on pressure to try and slow him down. The defensive banelings at home should be enough to force this away for right now. But the question is, does Ragnarok go for an air army, or is he going to stick to the ground and go straight into roaches? I don't know, but he still has to be pretty careful as to where he engages into this. He does manage to clean up the Banes, though, and that's a lot of the threat gone. Dark going up to his next stage of tech. He's getting his own 3rd base up, as well as a Roach Warren to kind of buffer for those Banes. Now here come the Mutts. As the Spire does finish up, a little bit of a scout, revealing the Roach Warren. And I think Ragnarok has got to know that he's on a bit of a timer with that Spire. As if Dark decides to just go for a big all-in aggressive attack, then there's not going to be enough mutas to really shut him out. Really nice move there from Dark. A good split on the Banes, preventing them from going down. A decent connection, though, on that one is going to devastate the Ling count here. Units lost tab, 80 to 47. That is incredibly insane. Ling gets in. I don't know if he got far enough, though, is the big question. Oh, he did see it. So now that he knows that there's a Spire, he knows that he can be aggressive. And we can already see it. The Queens have started the slow march. It's like March of the Penguins. Except you don't have Morgan Freeman advertising them. But yeah, this is not looking the best here. 9 mutas have come out, but they won't be able to deal with the roaches on the ground with the Queen support. Now Ragnarok scrambling for a defense. He's got to get rid of these links at the front at the very least. There's so much transfuse energy available. And yeah, this is about all he can do. He's got to go across the map and do a little bit of work with these guys. In fact, it looks like he's trying to do a little bit of a base trade, but just not a fully committed one here, as he's going to lose one of the mutas very quickly to the Spore Crawler. And honestly, Dark doesn't even care. He has enough back at home to defend while he just pushes the front. The Dark pushing his way in. His own natural is starting to go down. But it looks like Ragnarok just kind of feeling a little bit indecisive about what he wants to push into. As the units are going to start the march home. He is losing so many of his drones, though. I really don't see how he's going to be able to push his way out of this one. While the muta count is starting to get a little bit higher, it's just not enough to one-shot the Queens. And you can see that transfuse energy just a little bit too much. GG is called. So no crazy shenanigans this time, as we do have a natural hatch. A rare sight for our young Ragnarok. as he is going to try and go a little bit more tit for tat here. He still does have the ability to be aggressive, but I like the hatch first, just because it tells me that he's thinking ahead. Like last game, it seemed like he kind of just wanted to scramble for the next thing without really thinking it through. So having that little bit of extra income should make his attacks a little bit more powerful. So now as this game kind of gets underway, nothing too crazy is going on here. Everything is right with the world. I'm looking at the wrong screen. But yeah, we do see Ragnarok is a little bit quicker to get his speed out. Those moments, those seconds, don't really tell you a whole lot, but it does mean that he will have like literally a millisecond to be able to get in there and get a little bit of extra damage done. But Dark just going to go for a third hatch of his own, make sure that he does stay safe in terms of that income. But yeah, no real moves just yet. There we go, the first big one, a Baneling nest going down for both sides. So these guys are going to stick with the early game for just a little bit longer. I'll have to see how hard they want to commit to it, though, is the big question. Yeah, sorry, Windows. Windows sounds are annoying. Sarah was complaining about Berlin Grab. Map so big he couldn't see Prism. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with larger maps. I think Hardwire did have a problem as well, where Liberators could get into the backfield and do a lot of damage. Not like we're going to see a lot of that here, as instead we just see a ton of links streaming across the map, as Dark is going to be the first one to be super aggressive. Oh my goodness, actually doing a manual detonation there, getting a very nice connection on Dark's Lings. Second Bane trying to sneak into the natural, but instead just going to trade out for a couple of additional Banes there. It's pretty much trade a Bane, as he will find that Dark is not going to be letting up. 20 more Lings, 4 more Banes on the production tab for him, and this is... yeah, this is getting really epic here, but Ragnarok is actually going to be the first one to transition. Dark, on the other hand, is just going to go for an Evo chamber. No Roach Warren to speak of. And that kind of tells me that he might just be adding on Carapace so that his guys can tank an extra Bane hit. Here we go, Dark trying to look for an avenue to come on in, but he doesn't find one at the natural. Instead, going to go straight for the third base here. Already the drones are starting to fall, but looks like Ragnarok's getting pretty good at the manual detonations, just preventing too much damage, only losing about 5 workers there, so it's actually even in terms of that worker supply. His lost tab as well, pretty darn even, all things considered. This is just a scrappy early game, and I really like it. ZVZ has evolved into one of my favorite matchups because it's not just build Roach, press A, move across map, repeat for the 45 minutes. Anyway, once again, it's going to be that Spire Tech. Ragnarok does manage to get in just to get a little bit more scouting information. It looks like the Queens have already started their march very early on. So they will be across the map to help out as Dark really just looking to push the issue home. Adding on a couple of additional drones himself, 12 to be precise. And after that, it should just be roach from here. I don't really see him going up to too much heavier of a drone count. Okay, those are overlords, not queens. Yeah, there's actually another big bug. Apparently, like all the little critters that spawn in the main base have been blocking buildings. So I've seen a lot more of players trying to get rid of them just early on. Which I think is hilarious because it's the first time I've really seen players do what they can against those guys. You don't really see it too often. But here we go. The Baneling's coming in. 4 or 5 kills. But they do manage to spot the Mutalisks. Dark already has his infestation pit down as well, so he's going to have fungal growth, so Ragnarok has to be very careful with these mutts. Good split, not going to lose too much, but already 7 workers have fallen. I think this is really how Dark wins it. While I don't think he should trade out his entire army for these kills, he is doing a pretty good job of just stifling Ragnarok. That 4th base not going to go up anytime soon, I'd imagine. And he's forcing the mutas to stay at home as well while he builds up to that Hydra Den. Five infestors coming out. The Spore Crawlers do get deflected. The Lings looking for an angle on the 3rd. The Queens, though, are in the main base. No transfuse just yet. There you go. None of them going to go down. So Ragnarok getting deflected on every single corner. But still, he does have map control for the meantime. Mainly because Dark is staying back in... I don't want to call it a turtle position, but he is kind of just powering up in his own base, building up a pretty solid army count before he decides to move out because he doesn't want to get caught out of position from these Mutalisks, which are in pretty heavy number right now. Yeah, that's actually true. If you click on any of the clickable mobs, Stone Dust, then you do kill them just rapidly. But it doesn't work if you're the observer, as I've learned. Anyway, the mutas are going to make their way in here. The Hydralisk count not that big, but the Bane's going to roll on through, looking for that juicy mineral line. Dark not going to pull, and so 18 workers meet their death. But it's going to cost them all of the Mutalisks as the fungal chain is good. Oh my god. So for 18 workers, he lost pretty much all of his muta count. And when you're going Ling Bane muta, it's a deceptively expensive army to remake. So, like, he's not going to have any additional tech coming up anytime soon. As no hive on the way, no infestation pit. All his money, all his gas is going into remaking those mutas. A little bit of a Ling run by here. Just going to go straight for the 3rd base as the Queen's deflecting him on the natural. And Dark going to answer as the transfuse is just keeping that base alive. Oh my gosh. In the end, he does manage to get it, but it costs him his own 4th. And now he doesn't really have a lot at home that can really deal with these units, so the mutas are going to have to come home to defend. The Banes just crashing into the roaches harmlessly. And yeah, those mutas are just asking for a fungal right now. Hey, they are forcing the army home, which is pretty nice. They do get a couple of queen kills as well, so... I mean, that's not the worst situation. He does have a new 4th down in the bottom right position, and he actually is very far ahead in terms of that worker count. So, yeah, look at his income advantage. That's actually fantastic. So the fact that Dark wasn't able to kill him right there did set him back quite a ways. But the problem is Ragnarok can't kill Dark either. You know, it's insane. Only +1 on these mutas. So Ragnarok not really gonna invest too far into their future. But Dark is just now going to be starting his hive. He's going up to Lurker Den to deal with the lings in the back. Infestors getting ready for another juicy fungal, but Ragnarok wisely pulls out. There we go. Huge fungal rolling on in. The banelings starting to lose all of their health, and they're not really finding the connections that they need to, but there we go. The singular line is now finding what it needs to. Those infestors are running low on energy, but he still has some fungals left. So Ragnarok, after getting the snipe, has to get out of there. So at this point, Dark is really in a tough spot, losing 15 more workers. Units lost have as well. Like, it's not efficient for Ragnarok, but it's getting the job done. Four lurkers going to be on the way. That is going to help out a little bit with the lings on the ground. Or just anything he can do to kind of mitigate that so he can focus on this air. But the fungals coming on in. The mutas have been trapped. Is there enough energy to close it out? The infestor's going a little bit far forward. He had to expend some on these banes. And so he won't be able to finish off the mutalisks. So 88 workers to 49 right now. Dark is still struggling to take that fourth. Now Ragnarok, he's feeling comfortable enough to go up to his own hive tech with that infestation pit. Carapace upgrades as well. Just gonna add a little bit more utility. Just kind of getting rid of the extractors as well. Excuse me one sec, gotta sneeze. So now Dark, he is of the reptilian variety. As of right now, he has to be a turtle boy just to survive. But that's gonna really cede full control of the map to Ragnarok, as these mutas flying around just looking for any sort of angle they can get even more damage in. Roach kind of splitting off as well, just to look for any sort of run-bys that are coming his way. He will find them, but it's going to cost him every single time he forays off his own creep. That infestor count is getting pretty healthy, and now that he does have Vipers, I feel like Parasitic Bomb is going to be absolutely fantastic. Looking at it, the Bane's actually not able to get through there, so he is expending quite a bit of a gas just to try and get diminishing returns. Ultra's Cavern. We've got Greater Spire on the way. Ragnarok is pretty much just saying, give me everything here, as Dark is still broke. I hate to keep saying it, but yeah. Core Crawler going to go down in the main base. That's really just to force the Infestors to kind of split up so that they don't have the ability to chain fungal. But now we have his own Vipers on the field. That's going to be pretty nice, as he's going to be able to get some good snipes on the anything really, lurkers, infestors, what have you. Broodlords are going to be on the way pretty soon as well, but this is a really nice move. We do have a couple of units hanging out in the main base, but is it going to be enough to deal with 5 Overlords full of Lings? Looks like the answer is, so far, not really. The Transfuse Energy is going to be able to buy him some time, as the Banes trying to roll their way in. They do manage to make some 9 connections. But yeah, Ragnarok's got to be careful. He does have a much bigger bank, but if he keeps throwing his army away, that bank is going to go the way of the dodo. Parasitic Bomb going to go down, but a very nice split right there. Going to get rid of those diseased mutas. Now here comes the flight of the Broodlords. So at this point, the mutas are really just looking to trade out for anything they can, just to make room for more ultras, for more broods, for all these big, expensive units. I'll actually get the hive. This is going to be a really big pick-off here. Dark, oh, he's a little bit late to the party, and his hive is donezo. So instantly having to restart the lair. That means no more Vipers. No more Spire if you wanted to go for that. Just no more upgrades either. Oh. Now the mutas are finding damage, getting on top of these overlords, supply blocking Dark quite heavily here. I gotta say, I don't know how Dark can get back into it. He's really gonna have to get the most efficient trades of his life. But that's a very tall ask. Here we go. The Parasitic Bomb's going to start this engagement out right. Getting a lot of damage done on those broods. They are actually taking a massive amount of damage to fungals as well. Oh my god. Ragnarok needs to play professional baseball, because that was one hell of a throw. Over 60 supply. Just dropped off the map just like that. And with that, I think Dark has really forced his way back into this game in the best way. 14 broods gone. And the sad thing is I can't even share the moment with you. I have to share it 2 minutes in the future. So I'm just looking at chat and you guys have no idea. So Ragnarok is actually going to max out here once again. He's just going to use a ton of Ultralisks to try and break the lurker wall on the ground, as that Spore Crawler forest is a little bit too big for him to get in there with a Broodlord attack again. But the Muta's still flying around, and they still are able to get a couple of snipes here and there, which is okay. Yeah, he's starting to get diminishing returns just because of those Spore Crawler walls and the Vipers as well. Look at that. 4 parasitic bombs. 4 more dead Mutas. This is the pool, which is nice. So yeah, Ragnarok's still going to look to attack in here. Dark just really banking on the kind of Terran strategy here of let your opponent waste all his resources attacking into him while you build up a bank and just get ready. Blinding Cloud's going to go down on the Lurkers, so they will have to reposition. He does have detection, but it's hovering over that Spore Crawler wall, so he's starting to lose all of his Overseers, which means the Lurkers will still have quite a bit of room. Yeah, there we go. You guys are catching up. It's always funny to see the delayed reaction, but yeah, Ragnarok, he's starting to fall apart. As the Bane's gonna just get right on top of the Roaches here. The supplies are, funnily enough, relatively equal. It's just Ragnarok, he's like a trust fund kid, you know? He's never worked a day in his life, and he's just spent all of his inheritance, so he is broke. So now he has to learn how to work at a deli or a dairy farm or something. I don't know any Hallmark movies, so I think that's what happens. Maybe he'll even find a woman to love. I don't know. It's not Christmas yet. Anyway, here we go. Kind of the last Azov for Ragnarok. This is the last of his forces. The Parasitic Bomb going to go down on his protection. Meaning the Lurkers are going to have a little bit more room to breathe. The Roaches find the base down here in the bottom right side. But these Ultras just not able to break through. And now Ragnarok down over 50 supply. I think Dark now just has to do death by 1,000 cuts here and close this one out. And there you have it. The last cut has been given.